Okay, I guess we're going to start in a few seconds. Been here a couple of minutes now. Had to catch the lens on video really, didn't I? Otherwise I'd fail in my whole reason for being here. Yes. Seems to be taking longer than I expected it. Nozomi train pulling it. Oh, I can't tell. Get a lot of trains along these lines. Very popular. It's also very, very expensive. Here we go. We'll let this run for about 15 minutes all told. So we'll get enough for a YouTube upload or two. And yeah, we can race this Nozomi train. It'll overtake us in a bit because the next stop we do, the Nozomi probably won't be doing it, it'll probably just go straight through. They're not actually, they are faster than these because they get to build up a bit more speed because they don't stop so often. But the main extra time they save is just not stopping in places. Church, Christians in Japan. You think Japanese people are more sensible than to follow the Christian religion? But no, stupidity everywhere. There's seriously stinks of smoke in this place. I'll be glad to be out of it. Big domy thing in the background, I'll be able to see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shinkansen.
Or gasometers or something.
This is the Hikari Super Express, bound for Okayama.
School.
We will be stopping at Kyoto and Shin Osaka. After leaving Shin Osaka, we will be stopping at all stations before arriving at Okayama Terminal. While in the car, we ask that you switch your mobile phones to silent mode. Thank you.
Yes, that's right. The bank again as you go around the corner. Yeah, as on one of my posts the other week, Dormwood Big Walk to Tokyo Sky Street, which got a comment on it from one of my friends who came with me last year to Japan. I must thank him for that actually. His comment of saying that my blogs are like Google Street Maps but with humorous comments. That was quite a nice comment to receive, thank you. I did attempt to be humorous. Unfortunately, I have a very sort of weird sense of humour, as I'm sure you will have noticed. Or maybe completely not noticed at all because it's that weird that you don't get what I'm saying, which is probably more likely. The reason I'm doing these little videos here is just in case I see something interesting. And it's a shame I didn't start them 10 minutes earlier because out of the other window on the other side of the road, I think we must have been going past, I'm guessing, a US airbase, because there was AWACS playing, if you know what that is. It's the airborne early warning system playing. It's like a Boeing 767 or whatever with a radar dish or something, which was doing some very, very tight, low-level manoeuvring. Obviously doing some practice flying. It was literally banking. It was, instead of flying horizontally, it was vertical. So like one wing was pointing at the ground, one wing was pointing at the air, and then it was switching direction and doing it the other way. and I had the blind down over this window. And then I thought, I might do a video, so I lifted up the blind and flying alongside the Shinkansen was a Black Hawk helicopter on the other side. It was like, yeah, definitely an American airbase somewhere around about here. But typical, as soon as I pull the camera out, everything disappears. I don't know if you can see it, but try and zoom in. Up in the distance, there's some really, really big hills. And back. Hopefully, my seat on the way back next time, tomorrow, on the first train back, is also seat A, because I'm on seat A at the moment, which is the window seat on this side of the train. So hopefully tomorrow, on the way back, I'll be out the other side. So I'll try and capture another video. I've got enough batteries left, which I should have got nearly 2 hours of battery and only 2 hours of card time left. So I'll try, if the weather's nice and clear, like it is today, to capture a view of Mount Fuji. Fuji-san. There's one thing for you people out there, call it Mount Fujiyama, like so many people in the West do. A slap around the verbals, because calling it Mount Fujiyama is like calling the Empire State Building the Empire State Building, because Yama means mountain, so calling it Fuji, you can call it Fujiyama, like fine, which is correct. Or you can call it Mount Fuji, which is the western version of it, but calling it Mount Fujiyama, no. It's just a bad interpretation of the language. Yes, so for this bit, because we've been basically tracking along the coast, which is why you see lots of quite wide lanes. But from this point on, we now have to cross across the land itself, so we'll be crossing in between hills, because Nagoya is on the south coast, basically the same coastline as Tokyo, and Osaka is on the north coast, so we now need to cut across the land. We're due to get Osaka in about 40 minutes, so it'll take us about 40 minutes to cross the entirety of the land. Well, not entirety of the land, but from the south to the north. So we've only got one more stop, so the train's going to really pick up some speed on the way through. And as to the question which nobody will pose, do I feel safe on this trip? Especially on land, which is plagued by some pretty serious earthquakes. The answer to that's definitely yes, because these trains are made to withstand earthquakes. They cannot fall off the rails, no matter how violent the earthquake. The tracks don't get deformed, of course, because the tracks are specially built to in very large, very solid concrete sections. And they don't just have one rail that the track rests on, they have an inner rail as well, which basically means that if the train was to come off the track on one side, it can only lift a certain amount before the wheel hits the inner track. So it physically cannot come off the track. And also they're computer controlled, and basically they have a computer system so that as soon as an earthquake is detected, the train decelerates at a very, very, very fast rate to a stationary. And despite trains having to stop, it's very hard for metal wheels on metal tracks to stop very quickly. It can be done if you do it right. If you just jump on the brakes, of course the wheels will just lock. But if you use like a retarder system, which would be like basically an electric motor which fights against the movement of the wheel, the rotation of the wheels, it'll slow it down through momentum. Look at that, there's a bridge construction there as well. A new highway or something going somewhere. Big hills, which I could see earlier, which I tried to focus in on. Don't know why I bother focusing in on them. You're getting a nice slow zoom at the moment, just by the fact that we're heading towards them. It's actually not that slow, to be honest. Last year on the train we were on, when we were heading down to Shinkansen, it was actually saying the display inside said what speed we were travelling at. I haven't yet seen that on these ones. So sadly, I don't think I'll be finding out how fast we're travelling. A rate of knots probably does it then. We're travelling at a rate of knots. That'll do. There you go. Look at the ground as we bank towards the left. The news is going past on the billboard on the inside of the train. I have no idea what it's saying. Now we're in the hills. It's possibly not going to be much of a view, because there'll be lots of cuts of lots of this where you can just see the reflection on the dirt in the window and my finger, and a lot less of being able to see what's going on in the background. Since we're nearly at 15 minutes anyway, I'll cut it off and I'll do a 1 minute waffle about it. It says just as we come out into the view again. I guess I might do another one of these in a little bit, but I might just save the battery and do it on the way back. Okay, this is the end of my second extra video for the trip to Osaka. Signing off.